She is running, not from anything, not a cave lion, not a hyena pack circling in the dark. She is running toward something, a weight in her arms, wrapped in hide, too still. Her child has been sick for 6 days. The fever came first, then the cough that doesn't stop, then the silence that's worse than the cough. She knows this place, a deep shelter cut into limestone, its mouth angled to catch the low winter sun. She has sheltered here before, with people who are not here anymore. Her band is down to 7. It used to be 40. She doesn't know what that number means. She only knows the fires are smaller now, and fewer voices answer when she calls in the dark. She doesn't make it in time. She lays her down anyway, on the stone, against the cold wall, where the cave breathes warm air up from somewhere underground. She stays. That child is still there. In 1993, her bones were lifted out of Mezmaiskaya Cave, in the shadow of the Caucasus Mountains. She was less than 2 years old when she died. Today, her DNA has been read in full, every letter of it. She is the most completely sequenced Neanderthal individual ever recovered. And buried inside that genome is a sentence it took science 30 years to read. She is a dead end. Not one strand of her bloodline survives in any human alive today. Of every Neanderthal we have ever found, she is the only one who left nothing behind. Forget the textbook Neanderthal, the brutish silhouette, the diorama pose. This is a family. 7 people is not a tribe. It's barely a household. It is 2 adults who remember when there were more, and children who have never known anything else. The hunts are shorter now, not because the land changed, because there aren't enough hands to risk on a bad gamble. Every hunter lost is a hunter who can't be replaced. When the child gets sick, the mother does what her mother did, and her mother's mother before that: heat, herbs, closeness. A method 300,000 years deep, passed hand to hand, mouth to ear, through more winters than any of them could count. It has always worked before. It stops working now. This is the anchor, Northern Caucasus, Russia, a cave occupied on and off for over 70,000 years. In a side chamber, researchers found the remains of an infant, bones small enough to fit in 2 cupped hands. Bone density tells her age at death, under 2 years old. And the body wasn't scattered, wasn't dragged off by scavengers, wasn't simply left where it fell. It was placed, deliberately, curled, protected, set against the cave wall as if someone wanted her found facing the warmth. That single detail, placement, not abandonment, is the first clue that this death mattered to someone enough to leave a mark on the stone. She has seen them before. Fires on the opposite slope that aren't her people's fires. A smell carried on the wind that isn't right. Footprints in river silt, narrower than any she knows. She doesn't have a word for Homo sapiens. She doesn't have a word for competition, or replacement, or extinction. Those require knowing it's happening to you, and she doesn't. She just knows there are more of them, every season, on land that used to be empty. Here's what her daughter's genome actually tells us, stripped of metaphor. Her population had already been isolated for generations before this child was even born. Genetic diversity scraped thin, a small, cornered group cut off from other Neanderthal communities by sapiens pressure moving in from the south and west. This child didn't die of one thing. She died at the tail end of a slow, multi-generational compression. Fewer mates to choose from, fewer safe valleys, fewer chances to recover from a bad year. A population running out of room to be wrong. And here's the reveal the entire video has been built around. Her lineage contributed 0 DNA to modern humans. The Neanderthal genes carried by people alive right now, the immune variants, the cold-adapted skin, the altered pain thresholds, all of it came from other Neanderthal populations, other valleys, other encounters, somewhere else, with someone else. This mother, this child, this cave, a branch that ended completely. No echo, no descendants. Nothing carried forward into the world that came after them. Days have passed. The band has moved on. They had to. Food doesn't wait for grief. She knows this better than anyone. She has buried people before and walked the next morning anyway. But not yet. Not tonight. She builds a fire. Not for warmth. The cave already holds its own heat, deep and steady. The fire is something else, the one thing she still knows how to do with her hands when there is nothing left to fix. We can't know what she was thinking. No genome records grief. But we can ask the question the bones can't answer outright. Did she understand, in any way, that something had ended? Not a species. She had no concept of species. No sense that Neanderthal was a category about to close. But her people, her mother's voice, her father's particular grip on a spear shaft. Whatever word lost forever now, they used for the mountain behind this cave. We let that sit. Now the contrast. The same chamber, roughly 39,000 years later. A Russian archaeologist lowering himself carefully into undisturbed sediment. His light finds the curve of a small skull, half exposed in the soil. The exact moment the last of her world re-entered ours. Most Neanderthal stories end the same way, and their DNA is in you. That's the comforting close. A thread of continuity, proof we carry them forward. This one doesn't get to end that way, because hers isn't in you. Hers isn't in anyone. Every other Neanderthal lineage we've sequenced left something behind. A cold resistance gene, an immune response, a fragment buried so deep in a modern genome its owner will never know it's there. This child left none of that. The placement of her body, the fire built in the dark, the grief that put her down gently instead of leaving her where she fell, none of it survived into anything living, except the bones, except the sequence we finally learned to read, except this video, right now, carrying her 39,000 years further than she ever should have traveled. She has a name now, Mezmaiskaya 1. She has an age, under 2 years old. She has a story, pieced together from stone and sediment, and code most people will never see. It's not enough. It will never be enough. But it's something. Her mother never got the chance to tell anyone this story. We just did. If you think that matters, you know what to do. Because somewhere, right now, there are other Mezmaiskaya ones still buried, still nameless, still waiting for someone to climb down into the dark and find them. We can't change what happened to her. We can't undo 39,000 years of silence. But we can stop it from happening again, to her, to the next one, to the names still locked in stone. So don't just watch this and scroll on. Say her name out loud, Mezmaiskaya 1. Subscribe and help us find the next one before she's forgotten too. Thanks for watching.